Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the SATAMonkeys podcast. I'm your host, Earth the Fat, and today I'm joined by Nutpackers, IRJWC.
Yeah, packing nuts.
Pack of nuts. And Ryneix, or 4K Image of Ninja.
Ryan.
Ryan. Whenever I hear Ryan, I think of the fucking the guy saying Orion in Brawlhalla. No, not O'Reilly. Nah, I'm thinking of like
auto parts.
The guy's like Orion. I just think of Ryan. That's all I think of.
The way he says Orion is kind of nuts.
It's weird as shit. Yeah, Orion. We got some more laid back topics compared to the last 2 weeks, because the last 2 weeks ran on a ton. And you may notice we have less hosts, and that's just because it's more of a chill week and a lot of people are busy. So we're just gonna run it like this and give ourselves a bit of a break. This first story here is from XDA developers. We actually have two from XDA developers back to back. But this is confirmation that LG Electronics is indeed exiting the smartphone business. LG did confirm this. That's what this article is talking about. LG has confirmed that they are indeed exiting the smartphone business. And it will no longer produce new smartphones. Apparently in 2020, they registered a loss of $751 million in their smartphone division. That's insane, yeah.
Why would they just keep doing this? So
I have absolutely no idea.
If it's how much? 70 something? 71?
No, not 70. $751 million.
751 million. They weren't positive. They weren't making money last year. So this has been a downward spiral for a while now, it seems.
Oh yeah. And
I wonder why they kept going for this long. What was this 7-some billion or million?
I'm assuming they can you imagine if it was a $7 billion debt? Holy shit, that'd be insane. I'm pretty sure.
Is that more than America?
What?
I said trillion at one point. That's why. All right, never mind.
I think the reason it's they've been losing money is they've been innovative, and I'll give them that. But as my cousin said, it doesn't really pay to be innovative. It pays to make a phone that competes in either price or some category with like mainly Apple at this point.
And they can't do that.
That said, there's parts of it I'm just not exactly sure where. All I know is that LG has never been the hip and popular choice amongst almost anyone, and I think that may be why. It may just be built public perception over time, and I think it stems from the fact that LG for a little bit there made some like really garbage like track phones, and that's kind of what they became known for a small bit. But I don't really know exactly why none of their phones ever really caught on. I do know they had one phone that kind of caught on it came out around the time of the OnePlus 6T, and it was nearly identical to the OnePlus 6T in spec and design. That's the only LG phone aside from the LG Wing I remember making some type of wave, but it's disappointing to see that one of the like pioneers of the Android space are now stepping out after losing fucking tons of fucking money.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy.
It is. It does not say that they'll be exiting the smartphone display manufacturing business, and to be fair, the reason they probably got into it or stayed with it so long is probably because they also manufacture a lot of displays and stuff for these for smartphones in general. Shit either uses a Samsung panel, an LG panel, or there's one other company I'm forgetting. But typically it's either an LG or Samsung panel. That's probably why they stuck with it so long, is they make a lot of the shit or the big component of the phone, so they can probably do it for a lot cheaper. But I'm not I don't know.
It's just sad.
It is sad. As much as I don't love to say, big corporations are great, because I really don't. LG, there's definitely bad shit they've probably done, but this specific shit, like they're shutting down their phone business, it just kind of sucks. They really have been some of the most innovative in the smartphone market. And especially now that like OnePlus isn't, and there aren't many others I can think of currently. I literally, when I would think of like that, I think of the Galaxy Fold, LG's like yearly wacky phone design, the Asus ROG phones, and the OnePlus 7T Pro or 7 Pro. That's what I think of when I thought of like really innovative phones in the last few years.
I know when I was thinking about getting a new phone, the brands that crossed my mind were like Samsung, Xiaomi, maybe Huawei until that's what happened with them. OnePlus, even Razer phone.
Ew.
Yeah, and it didn't cross my mind to think about looking into an LG phone. It crossed my mind first to get like an iPhone, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So
I think LG was just the one where if you have a broken phone, you're out of money, and they're like cheap. They were kind of cheap from what I remember.
Oh, they had some really nice like bang for the buck stuff recently.
Yeah, that's what most people got them for. From what
Yeah,
I
at least
remember.
around here.
Yeah, yeah, in our area.
didn't like Mr. Who's the Boss make a video about how their phones were actually really good, but like with some small drawbacks, and they costed like about 2/3 the money at like 6 months after launch.
I have absolutely no idea. I barely watch Mr. Who's the Boss, but I do know that's
I don't even know
true.
who that is.
At this point with phones, that's true for almost any phone, especially iPhones. But like the OnePlus 7T Pro launched at about 1.2 grand, I believe, or 1 grand. It was something about a grand, if not more.
And sold on the eBay for like 2,000. I remember. I think.
I don't remember
point.
that.
I remember. I saw it. It was scalped.
But at that, like, you can buy them right now. It's a phone that is all screen. It's still an amazing phone. It's got like 12 gigs of RAM and shit. It's overkill. It's worth like $300 on eBay, which is insane. My OnePlus 5T I bought for $500 brand new. You can get for $120 almost brand new on eBay. So like,
I might need to look into that.
These phones depreciate insanely. And iPhones are the biggest example. Like, you can get an iPhone 7 if you look the right places for like $80. You can get an iPhone 6s Plus for like $80.
I wonder what the 12 is right now.
Probably pretty low. Well, is that no? Because they weren't.
That's the newest one.
Yes, yeah, so that one's
no,
probably
the
still.
iPhone 13 is not out.
Yeah, the iPhone. Whatever.
The iPhone 13, I don't even think has been announced.
Sarah, you are
has it?
peaking hard. Like when you
Is
start
it?
talking.
Oh, right, like now? I'm sorry. What about now?
Now you're fine.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't even think the iPhone 13 has gotten announced.
Yeah,
Has it?
No, I don't think it has. I just didn't. The newest iPhone probably is still worth MSRP because it's the newest phone.
Yeah.
But
I feel
you
like
can
the
get
first
them for like $1,000 Canadian.
probably. I think the 11 and 12 are the same. They still keep their MSRP or go down just like maybe a couple $100.
On iPhone 10, you can easily pick one up for like $400.
Yeah.
Like it's insanely good.
You can get an iPhone XR for like $110.
I'm pretty sure the XR is the garbage model.
Well, it's not garbage. It's the model I least support because it's not like, I don't believe it's it might be the plastic back one. I think that it was plastic. I'm not sure. I know that they did a really cheap iPhone 10 thing, and the XR was like $500 to $600 or something, and really quickly depreciated. I mean, for the screen to body ratio you get for it, and for like $100, it's actually a decent enough offer. It's not horrible.
I think it is the iPhone 8 with the like no bezel design.
Essentially, it's not the same. It's not the exact same. Well, no, it has the same internals as the iPhone X. It's not just the iPhone 8. But then again, I don't remember if I believe the iPhone 8 had a slightly lesser chip. I'm still a bit I don't remember that as well. And it wasn't plastic back. It was the iPhone X had a titanium or something border to protect the glass from cracking, or like steel, and the XR just had aluminum, so it wasn't that great at protecting it from a drop. But for like $100, it's an amazing deal. It's still pretty good. But yeah, no, especially iPhones, but most phones do depreciate a ton, so that's not surprising to me. It's gonna be interesting to see if like stuff like the LG Wing go up in price. It's unclear how many of them have been made, because it was announced and released and was called one of the most innovative phones of 2020. So I have no idea. I'm assuming there was already a small amount of those made, not a ton, because obviously a phone that has a screen that essentially, what is it? It like does a 180 on an axis, and then you have like a phone where like the bottom half of the screen is like half a screen, then the top half is widescreen full phone. It's really weird and interesting. I highly doubt they made tons of those, and I wonder if those will go up in price, and become collectible. But I have absolutely no idea.
I haven't seen a phone like a smartphone collectible smartphones.
Oh no,
really
there are a few, and the biggest ones are like the original iPhone, the iPhone 2G. Those
Oh, well, I
two
don't
are
count
big.
those. I don't. For some reason, I don't count those, which is weird. I should.
Yeah, those are highly collectible.
Everything before the iPhone 4 is just a haze for me.
Yeah, that is true.
Same. And I've looked it up and looked into it and written it down multiple times, and I don't remember it very well. I just know there was the 2G, the 2GS, or no, there was the 2G, the 3G, and the 3GS, I believe.
Yeah, and then didn't the 3G like fuck up a little bit, and then people were like worried about it, or was it one of them fucked up pretty bad?
One of them had like severe networking issues, I believe, at launch.
Yes, it might have been the 3.
It was either the
And
3G or the 3GS.
yeah, I think I saw it on a YouTube video, and I remember like I was like, oh wow, if there was another phone that could beat it out, maybe Apple wouldn't have been Apple at that point in time.
I doubt it because they did it. It seems like Steve Jobs is just going to keep going ahead with it either way.
True.
Like no one asked for the design of the iPhone 5, and yet Steve Jobs just kind of did it.
Yeah.
Wasn't his like idea to keep it the same size like that?
No,
I can't remember. I think it was 5'1".
His for the iPhone 5, his idea was to just make it taller. That was his last design he did or worked on. And keep in mind, he did not make the full phone designs himself. It was John Ivey, something like that. He's done all the actual design work, but Steve Jobs' input was less.
Isn't John Ivey the actual director now?
No, he left the company.
Oh,
Johnny
okay.
Ives, I believe. He did all the designs, but Steve Jobs, like his last bit of input was on the iPhone 5 design, so it can be assumed that he was okay with the taller part. I've not looked farther into it. But it seemed like that was his design. And then the iPhone 6, if I remember correctly, had absolutely nothing to do with Steve Jobs, and it was like Johnny Ives' just idea. I really hope he didn't get that idea from like, oh, we made it taller last year, let's now make it taller and wider this year. But back to LG, I don't know. It kind of sucks. There's not a lot that can be said or done about it though. It's just kind of what it is. But yeah, we'll move on here to another story from XDA developers, and that's kind of funny to me. Google Play's final update lets you hide the app on your phone and also delete it and delete all your data too. And it's just fucking hilarious to me that the final update for Google Play Music is to hide it permanently and delete everything permanently. Like that.
Wait, didn't you have to buy music on it though?
So if you're out of the loop, Sarah, what happened with Google Play Music? It was replaced by YouTube Music.
Yeah, I knew that, but
I believe you can still buy the music with YouTube Music. That like they wouldn't be.
Well, if you bought the music on Google, do you still get the music you bought on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know if they just said, "Nah, fuck you, we're gonna take the money and run."
Yeah, no, they weren't gonna do that, and that spawned a whole bunch of class actions if they tried that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, wait, did they just screw up or?
Yeah, you gotta chill with your mic. You keep like getting close to the ear rapes.
I'm not even moving at this point.
That's weird.
I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. I don't know. Epic, you said you didn't get this update, right? Or you didn't check. You opened the app and it wasn't.
I did open the app and it just said no more Google Play.
No more Fortnite. Let me see if I got the update.
Yeah, I'll check too.
You don't even have an Android.
I got one by me.
What phone?
Samsung Note 9.
Why do you have a Note 9 next to you?
It's my mom's.
Why did you have your mom's phone next to you?
I was playing Candy Crush.
You have that on your phone.
Pokemon Go doesn't work on my phone, nor does Candy Crush.
How does Candy Crush not work on your phone? I feel like you're
the more important thing. Pokemon Go doesn't work on my phone. It's actually upsetting.
No, but how does Candy Crush not work on your phone?
It does the same thing. Pokemon Go. It opens and sometimes it opens and closes immediately, or it just doesn't open. You click it and it just doesn't open.
It's the weirdest shit I've ever heard of.
Yep.
I have no updates here for Google Play Music. Let me try opening it. Google. Do I not even have it?
You probably.
Oh, I do have it. I do have it. Let me open it. Let's see here. I'm on a loading screen. It is no longer available. Explore YouTube Music. But so yeah, I don't even have the option yet to delete it. So it looks like that isn't fully rolled out, which is okay.
I'm kind of confused on why they kept doing YouTube Music for this long, because YouTube Music was not anything.
YouTube
really
Music's still a thing.
I know. I don't know why they kept it when they had Google Music for a long time. Because YouTube Music's been a thing for a while, from what I
No, okay,
remember.
I think you're misunderstanding it. They started YouTube Music, and then they realized having two different systems doesn't make sense, so they're just
Yes,
merging
that's
them.
what I was saying. Okay, that's why.
Uh,
Because I was wondering why they kept both at the same time. I put two and two together, but not
they announced they were
understood.
merging them a while ago, and they're finally just now getting around to it.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
hear about that.
yeah, no, they are merging them. They're becoming one thing.
I know one of the easy things you could do with Google Play Music was buy a subscription like directly with your Google Play like funds. If
Yeah,
you buy like a gift card, does it do that with YouTube Music too?
I don't know.
Probably
I've
not.
never ever opened YouTube Music. I don't think.
I
Hold
refuse
on,
to
I'll
give
check.
YouTube my money.
Well, it's not even that because like all your Google Play shit. If you bought that, it's gonna be on YouTube Music. So by proxy, you've given them money because it's the same company. That's not the issue for me. It's just I don't like. Most people don't like YouTube Music's design at all, or just its concept. Because I believe with YouTube Music, it's just you now own the music and can listen to it like with your phone screen turned off, which you couldn't do like with
Yeah,
normal
no,
YouTube.
I hate that ad. It
But
just pisses me off.
the thing
Like they
is,
couldn't have did that.
if you bought the music on Google Play Music, you bought it because you wanted it in some type of quality, not YouTube compressed 192K quality.
I never knew I had $2 in my Google Play.
They did that. They did like a giveaway of $5 to like everyone who had Google Play years ago, and I wish they'd do it again. It was cool. But yeah, interesting stuff. I'd have to actually install YouTube Music and see how they're migrating everything over, or if they are, how that works, because I don't really know. But it's just great to me that they're pushing an update and it's just to remove the app. Like man, that was so worth it. Why?
No more Google Play Music.
Yeah, no more Google Play Music. But yeah, we'll move on to a story that I completely misunderstood when I first read it, and now don't really see the potential in. It's from Engadget. THX's Onyx is a tiny USB-C headphone DAC that supports master quality audio. Now, in this image here, they showed this little THX, what looks to be like a dongle, like a literal just USB-C to aux output, with a phone. And the phone, which looks to be, it's an Android, and it has a giant bezel at the bottom. I assume because of the giant bezel and how the design of most high quality DACs from companies is like an Android phone, or it's like a phone, and they run Android on them with screens. I assumed that was the DAC. It was like a phone sized DAC, because most DACs like that as well are super thick. They're really heavy. So it's like, oh, they made like a slim and comparatively tiny like DAC. But it's actually a like USB-C to aux output DAC dongle that they're claiming has super insane quality. It has some type of chip here. I'm looking for it. That is the first time. What is it? The Onyx is a THX AAA-78 amplifier chip. I'm quoting from Engadget. Not only is this the highest powered mobile THX achromatic audio amplifier configuration, but the company says it's the first portable DAC amp to use this component. It's as powerful as a desktop DAC or amplifier setup, but it's much smaller, and it reduces 3 types of distortion by up to 40 decibels and maximizes output power for more dynamic range and sound pressure level SPL. Here's my biggest issue with it. Most DACs need a lot of power to like to push audio out, and I'm not sure how much of that you can pull from a phone, because that's what this output is doing. That's it's gonna plug into the USB-C port on your phone, and it's gonna suck power and then output it. And I have absolutely no idea how it's gonna get the power it needs. But more importantly, if you look up some of the highest quality DACs, there's a guy who does his name's Dankpods. He does a lot of hi-fi audio related stuff, and then also just fucking around with shitty audio equipment. But he's shown his DACs, they're huge, and they take a lot of power, and they only last about 3 hours on a single charge. So this thing's gonna be sucking battery in terms of like
I still
phones.
don't see the reason why people would buy this.
I do. It's just for hi-fi users who want maximum quality. It's definitely not meant for the consumer space in terms of just your average Joe, because your average Joe wouldn't buy this. This is just meant for its target market is clearly hi-fi like audiophiles, but its target market are probably going to think this is garbage because of how small it is and how untested this brand new chip with its first use being in this is. Something tells me DankPods will probably buy and review it and say it's okay to not great, and then show one of his actual DACs and say it's better. Apparently they've also done shit or partnered with like Razer, or this works well with Razer, some Razer headset, because they've done work in the past and they did it again here. I don't know. I struggle to see the point of this beyond the audiophile space, and considering I don't think that space will take kindly to it, I'm not sure entirely what the plan is here. I don't really understand.
Yeah, before the podcast, Matt and Epic had a full blown almost argument about what the hell this thing was, and it was kind of funny how Matt's like idea of like, oh shit, this is kind of bad now. Never mind.
Yeah, like, oh, this is just like a dongle. Epic told me it was a dongle, and I'm like, nah. See, the thing with the screen's like a tiny DAC. It's cool, and then no, I'm wrong. It is actually just a small dongle.
It's funny because under the main title for the article, it says, this $200 dongle is a small but mighty audio upgrade.
Yeah, I completely skipped over that. That's just my bad. The other thing that's funny to me is the 3 LEDs it has to indicate quality. Like, that's not great. That's not a great system to indicate quality. I would have preferred some type of side-loadable software that would say that. Like most DACs have. They have their own like custom software and hardware that, works with that software internally, that will like say the exact quality of something and what grade it is, etc., etc. But no, you get 3 LEDs. So I'm not sure how great this will be. What I can say is most of the time with high quality DACs use high quality headphones, and they have like huge audio jacks. They're not 3.5 millimeters. They're like, I think there's 8 millimeter ones. They're huge. And obviously bigger than 8 millimeters. There's bigger stuff, but I believe the one I know very well is the 8 millimeter ones. They're fucking huge. And this only supports, it looks like 3.5 millimeter. And so you're already not going to get super amazing, like comparable quality to some of these DACs. And granted, some of these DACs are around $1,000 to $1,200. So I'm not sure how this will perform for its price. But what I can say is I've seen $200 DACs that have screens that have really great reviews as generally good hi-fi quality DACs. This is practically a dongle. So I personally don't trust its noise isolation abilities, considering how small it is, how unprotected a 3.5 millimeter is plugging into it. It's not even like encaved in with any rubber around it. It's just there. A USB-C to USB Type-A adapter seems like you're going to lose something in the process or gain more electrical noise in the process. I don't know. I personally don't think this is a great idea. And it also looks like they took the design of a vape they were making and then just converted it to a fucking audio thing. They don't make vapes, but that's what it looks like to me. This literally looks like a Juul or something like that.
I don't know about that, but
it's like a thin rectangle. And it's got like a fucking...
Nah, they don't look like that. They don't.
All right, fair enough. I'm just stupid. It'll be interesting to see though if this gets reviewed and it's like considered amazing, because I'm betting on it not being great. It doesn't look super cool from what it is. They show that that 3.5 millimeter aux cord there with the rubber around it. Problem is most aux cords, just in general, have a little lip at the very end that although it's meant to like ground it, I believe, or something like that. It has a purpose. And also meant to stop the audio thing from going in too far. That itself can still have issues with like external noise and like dust hitting it or just general air hitting it, and that can cause a tiny bit of noise. And you'd think they would like have an end cave or have it like caved in a little bit where the aux goes in. It's not. But that also, it's important to know I'm not an audio engineer, so I could be entirely wrong in how well that's done. I really don't know. But it will be interesting to see reviews of this thing, because I am personally intrigued, and I don't think it's going to do well, but we'll see. I was wrong about what it was to begin with, so let's hope I'm wrong about how good it is. Move on here to a story from VentureBeat. Alienware launches first AMD gaming laptop in over a decade, and it's just a pretty self-explanatory article. My biggest question is, this says it's going to use like an AMD Mobile Series chip, And from what I remember, they're still not on the level of Intel. So I don't know why exactly they're doing this.
Just to say they did now. I forgot about Alienware. Oh my god.
How could you forget about Alienware?
I just haven't seen really much Alienware at all recently. I've got it maybe like the new Alienware like flagship PC, but for a while now, I just haven't remember them. Sorry.
Yeah. I remember him like every time I walk into my dad's office because that's what his little
He has one.
Yeah, small.
Do you remember? Let me throw it back to you. Do you remember Ironside?
Vaguely.
Oh my god, I remember when I was.
I remember that.
I almost bought one of their PCs. Oh man, that was a good old days where Alienware and Ironside were the.
Well, I can't remember, but like, what were their prices like compared to building it yourself?
Well, at that time, I wasn't building my own PC, right? But at that time, they had good builds. They're like 500. Well, they had like now, like NZXT has like their different standards of what you want in them and how much they cost.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm still confused on the laptop chip part though. I don't entirely understand it. I don't think it's. I just don't get it. If this was like a desktop CPU in a laptop thing, which has been done, I get it a bit more because it'd be like you get everything in one package. You get the most best ever performing laptop ever type thing, because it has a desktop CPU and maybe a desktop GPU or something. But no, it's just got a mobile Ryzen 5000. And to be fair, I've not looked extensively into the mobile Ryzen 5000s, but if I recall correctly, they're not as good as Intel's mobile stuff yet. If not, they're really close, but they're not fully there. So maybe that's what set them over the edge with it. What I don't like seeing is the included killer Wi-Fi 6 AX1650 wireless chip. As someone who's used killer wireless chips, because killer's natural, I don't know if it's a brand name. I believe it's just a name of a line of products from a company. I forget which company owns killer. I don't believe they're natural brand, but I could be wrong. But killer Wi-Fi chips suck. They have so many fucking issues compared to just a normal generic Wi-Fi chip. And some of it has to do with that they for one of them, they had really like gamery software. I actually had this issue with a board I had for a little bit. It had like really dumb gamery type software, and then if you didn't install it, it would be just shit. And if you installed it, things would be really fucky and not work half the time. It didn't even want to register that I had a killer chip when it was a chip that has killer branded on it. That's the best part. But in my experience, and if you look up like people having problems with killer Wi-Fi chips, there are a ton of issues with them. If I remember correctly, they just take a generic chip and they modify a lot of different things about it.
That's weird.
Firmware and software wise, and then they call it their own thing. And I don't know why they would include that. I don't know why you don't just include a generic Wi-Fi 6 chip. It doesn't need to be killer. No one cares about that.
Actually, that might hinder what people. That might make it bad from what people think because they think killer and they think what you think and it's bad.
Yeah, my assumption is they went with killer either because they got some type
deal
of
partnership,
either some type of deal, or them be like, yeah, if we're selling a gaming laptop, you'll see killer Wi-Fi. They'd be like, wow, but if you also said it has like Wi-Fi 6, people are gonna look it up and realize that's the newest Wi-Fi that almost no one has, the newest Wi-Fi generation. So they'll be like, oh, it has Wi-Fi 6. They didn't. The killer part's not needed at that point.
Get Wi-Fi anywhere you go. That
meme is so old. But I don't know. It's interesting that they're going with AMD for these new ones. I personally would have liked to see a like full fat AMD CPU in a laptop from Alienware. But it's interesting.
Dell?
Dell owns Alienware. That's why I said that.
Oh, I did know that. Okay, I do remember.
All I really remember of Alienware is it was on Big Bang Theory and Don't Buy One.
Yes. Oh my God, Sheldon had an Alienware computer.
I've never ever watched Big Bang Theory.
My dad and I to this day still watch Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I've never ever seen it. I can't. Despite how anti pre-built I am, I can't ever say don't buy an Alienware, because as much as
there are some good ones,
there are a ton of them that are like cash grabby or just not great and they're not accurate and stuff. Sure. In terms of like price to performance, and then their claims on gaming performance, blah blah blah. But every now and then they make a pretty decent product. It's always going to be overpriced because they're like Razer, which is like Apple. They overprice their shit because it's the premium experience.
I don't think Razer's like that anymore. As in, people think it's the premium best one. That was like 2016.
Well, now, but now people just think of them as the Apple of the computer industry, which is accurate.
True. That is true.
I guess I don't know. Dell. All I can say, the easiest thing I can bring up is when you get like most generic Alienwares that aren't custom, or not custom, but a weird thing like the Alienware Alpha R1 / Steam Machine that they did. When they're not something like that and they're like a normal computer, they really go overboard with some stuff just to make sure it'll last forever. Most of them have 1,000-watt platinum rated power supplies. Even their cheaper models, that's just a standard thing. That they all have, so people's power supplies never die, and that's really fucking cool. And a lot of the time they use for example, there's some recent power supply tech that's coming out that eliminates, I believe it's one of the voltage rails entirely. It's compatible with most pre-existing motherboards and stuff, and it's really cool. But it also is better for power efficiency. Gamers Nexus have a full video on it. Apparently, Dell's already been doing that with some Alienwares for a little bit. They've been including these new generation 1,000-watt platinum power supplies, and it's really cool to see that, especially in cheaper ones that you wouldn't expect something like that. You'd expect that a cheap shitty 600-watt silver rated random from China power supply, but Dell really they seem to care about their power supply stuff. So I guess that's part of where the money you're paying for goes to, is the 1,000-watt platinum rated power supplies that are probably never going to fail on you, or at least not in any 15 years. But there's stuff about them I can respect for the price. Their laptops, I have no idea. But I'm talking about their desktops. But I can't. There's stuff about Alienware as a company, as a subsidiary, that I respect. Not all of it, but I can't say that about Razer. I can't say that about NZXT. Who are the two easiest comparisons to make in terms of
NZXT for me came out of nowhere.
They came out of nowhere, and the reason is their founder is the son of. Well, what was it? There's another pre-built thing. It might have been Origin. Or may have even been Ironside. I forget who the guy who owns NZXT is the son of. But he's the son of a guy who owned another big pre-built thing, and he made NZXT. And NZXT it did kind of come out of nowhere. They've made
I just remember everyone's like, yeah, I have an NZXT. I'm like, what, where? And then all the YouTubers and streamers did it. It's like the Raid Shadow Legends of PC stuff.
Yeah, they made some cool cases in the past. They had one case design that blew up. It's just, you can look up NZXT case, and it's probably the first one that comes up. And now that's kind of just seen as meh. Their cooling's not amazing. And then they have their pre-builts, which are super compact, and they're a little bit overpriced. They're not as bad as others. They're also the same ones, I believe, that just had the PCIe riser fire issue that Gamers Nexus covered, and they've since recalled those, and they're sending out new ones. But so I don't know. NZXT is not the most amazing comparison, but that's the best I can make to Alienware, is Razer and NZXT. But I respect parts of Alienware. I don't respect a lot of Razer, and I don't respect a lot of NZXT, especially after they ignored the PCIe riser issue for a bit before finally responding.
I know one of the original things I remember them for is blocking 2Matt on Twitter.
They blocked.
Did they?
Yeah,
Nice.
He literally trolled them for I think it was a week or two, or a little while, and then they just blocked them.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's cool to see AMD chips finally returning to some high-end laptops, I guess. And that's really all I have to say on that. Move on here to a story from TechCrunch. Apple launches an app for testing devices that work with Find My, which is shortened from their original service Find My iPhone. I'm not gonna lie, I've actually thought for a while it'd be really cool if there was chip released that used Find My iPhone to track it. Then again, anything could use anything to track anything. There could be something for on Android that would do it, because Find My iPhone's not on Android. And apparently there already is. There's Tile that it talks about here that does a very similar thing. So this is definitely, once again, this is not a Apple exclusive thing. This is something that already exists that Apple's kind of stealing the idea of. But I can see this being kind of cool, and I don't know. I'm not entirely sure why I'm excited about it as I am, because A, I don't have an iPhone, B, Find My iPhone's not on Android, and C, Google already has their Find Your Android service that is almost identical, because all it does is just track where your phone is and pinpoint like the location it's at, and then it rings it. It's the same shit the Find My iPhone thing can do. You can lock it, you can erase its data, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like that's all shit you can do with both of them. So I'm not sure why I was excited for this as I was. I guess it just, when I was an iPhone user, this is something I thought would be really cool. And it's been like 4 or 5 years now. And I guess now part of me is like, yeah, woo, this is happening. But it's way too fucking late.
Too late.
Yeah. It doesn't make, it's just way too late. And it could have launched realistically back then. Or even before then. Because that stuff still existed at that point. They could have expanded it. But they're just now doing that. So I guess it's cool for people who want to stay within the Apple ecosystem if this becomes a thing and Apple license out the tech or release their own tile competitor where you just like drop something in something and you can track it. I guess that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's just that like little boy part of me that's like, woo, but I don't give a shit. And realistically, this is just more of Apple kind of taking things and also kind of if you couldn't tell, slow news day.
Yeah.
Move on here to a story that me and Zaire we're probably gonna flame Epic about again for another like 10 minutes.
Dumbass.
It's from TechSpot. Will.i.am of Black Eyed Peas fame. We'll get back to why that's important in a second. Reveals his $299 $299 face mask featuring dual fans, ANC headphones, Bluetooth, and more. Ryneix has no fucking idea who Will.i.am is.
That doesn't make sense. Like, it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Ryneix,
you're 16, right?
Yeah. Ryneix, you're 16, correct?
Yeah.
You're 16, and you don't know who the hell the Black Eyed Peas are, or Will.i.am.
No.
Do you know who Fergie is?
Who?
Okay, let's not recreate the same conversation we did before. That's not what I meant. Because we talked about this before, and we fucking blew up on Epic.
I don't understand.
Yeah, for reference, for anyone, which means no one because no one's not heard of Will.i.am except Epic. Will.i.am is probably one of the most influential music artists and hip hop artists of the past 15 to 20 years.
I wouldn't say that, but
there's some hip hop songs he's done that have been huge, and
that's true, but he's not, depending on what type of influence.
I should have said innovative.
Yes, innovative. Yes,
that's what I meant to say. I did not mean to say
influence. Yeah, I don't know anyone who is influenced by him.
Which is unfortunate because I would love to see like 2007 to 2010 type music from Black Eyed Peas still be around, and it's not.
Everyone
anymore.
would. I feel like.
Yeah, and it's not. And it's kind of unfortunate. But they're like, for example, they're what I think of, the group I think of when I say like 2007 era music. They're the first thing I think of.
Or LMFAO. Do you remember that?
Nah, because that was even a bit later. I just remember Black Eyed Peas and like grooving out to a lot of their songs.
They did. They were just playing on the radio a lot.
They were. A lot of their most popular songs too. I looked at their SoundCloud listing to quickly like find the names of some of their songs. And first of all, they're entirely not in proper order. But it looks like a lot of their like hit songs were all released on like the same album. There were like at least 3 in one album, and they all blew up at the same time. And they all became big.
I think it was that made them popular, and then they all broke off from their own careers.
Yeah, it's definitely what cemented them into their own thing. But back to the mask part of it. This looks to be not a competitor to the Razer mask, but definitely something quite similar to it. It does not have addressable RGB lighting on the filters, but it does light up with LEDs. There are 2 HEPA filters, and it has magnetically seating earbuds or something. They're like, what is it here? Bluetooth earbuds that magnetically dock onto the sides of the mask and then go into your ears. I'm gonna be entirely honest, because of the shading in this image and Will.i.am skin tone, I can't tell if that's like a actual black covering that's part of the mask over his ear or if that's his ear. I literally can't tell, because it could be either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually can't. I think that's his actual ear the more I look at it. But I thought it was like a fully secluded in mask, like there's no outside air getting through. What the fuck was that?
I don't know what just happened, but I looked at my phone and it says I'm not connected to my speaker, and so I opened something and music just started blasting. That scared me. Oh my god!
I heard it for like 1 second. But this is honestly, compared to the Razer mask, this is something like, I think it looks not only cooler than the Razer mask, especially because of what they've done with the nose. They've actually made the nose not look like an afterthought. But the earbuds look really interesting. I have no idea what their quality is like, and considering how small they are, I'm not sure how much room for a good driver there is in them.
They look like the old Apple earbuds.
They do, and that's another thing I want to bring up is how huge they sit in his ear. That doesn't look comfortable. And yeah,
I don't think they look. I think that's their. I know Samsung has earbuds like this. That's a circle, but it has like
the beans.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Or is it the AKG earbuds?
It was probably the AKG he's thinking of, because the beans are like molded to fit most people's ears. The other thing I'm noticing too is the audio output here in this one image. They do actually look a lot like the old Apple earbuds, which sucked. And I'm assuming this is all rubber, so it doesn't hurt your ear and it's not plastic. But even so, I don't like how that's output. Even the modern Apple earbuds have a better output system than what this looks to have.
Yeah, modern Apple earbuds are great.
They're great. Like they're way too bassy, but they're overall they're good.
They fucking hit. I can't even lie.
On a technical level, they're not well-rounded, but in terms of user experience, they're well-rounded.
They are well-rounded for user experience. I remember those were the go-tos when you didn't have any wireless ones.
Yeah, I know they're great for Siege.
Yeah, they are.
Here directionally.
Yeah, I play with earbuds when I play Siege because directional sound is better with earbuds for me for some reason.
I think there are pros that do that.
Yeah, no, all of them do. We're not gonna get into that right now. We'll talk about that later. But
yeah, but this mask looks cool, except for the fact that it's $300 and it only comes with a 3-month supply of HEPA filters. I don't know how much HEPA filters cost, but I can assume that they're definitely not cheap, and they're gonna cost more than just getting a disposable mask or wearing a couple of them. Let me go to shopping real quick and see HEPA filter. Let's see. You can get one big HEPA filter for $30 from Lowe's. They're like, let's see here. All right, let's say between like $10 and $20 for some generic shit. What they probably have here is more generic, so it's probably going to be like $30 to $40 for a refill pack of maybe 2 to 3, if I were to guess.
And how long do they last?
I'm assuming it's like a month per set, because I'm assuming there's a filter in each side, so they're gonna include like 6, so it's probably gonna be like a month per set. Because they say it's a 3-month supply of filters, and so that, you know, that just doing the math there based on the two slots for them and the 3-month supply, it's probably 2 per month.
I swear to God, they in old Black Eyed Peas videos, there's some shit like this.
It probably is.
And it looks sick. I'm not gonna lie. To me, this looks sick.
Imagine like you're just in class listening to music, and like, what can the teacher do? Take your mask?
Nah, they'll just pull off your magnetically attached Bluetooth earbuds. Just pull them right off. Magnets, bro. I actually
then
really
you touched a child.
Nah, no, you didn't touch the child at that point. You touched their Bluetooth earbuds. Like, you see how they're attached. You can just pull the string.
Yeah.
I do like the orange and red accents on that one. I actually like on that image. I think that's really cool. That's the type of like design language I'd expect from Will.i.am. Because if it was all white, I think it would look a bit dumb. I really like these overall. I don't know about the quality of the Bluetooth earbuds, but considering they're magnetically attached at that base, I have a feeling people will come up with ways to mod it. I can imagine someone will get some of those wireless earbuds that have the earbuds are attached together, but they're not attached to an aux wire, and someone will probably mod those to work something like this. Or maybe people will just buy a small little thing that goes around AirPods that has a magnet at the end, and they'll attach it to this. I can see that happening equally.
Or just wear AirPods at that point. You don't need the magnetic thing.
The magnetic thing, I think, is so... A, if it falls out of your ears, it's still there. But B, it's just nice if you can just like quickly take them out for a sec. You can just let them hang. You don't need to like put them away or hold on to them. I think that part's nice. I don't know. I really like it. I don't like the price.
I mean, for all of this, I feel like it should be this type of price, kind of.
The price makes sense. It just, I don't have to like it though. I don't like.
Yeah.
No one's gonna want to spend this much on a mask. And they also say, like, oh well, the vaccine's out or some shit like that. Later in this article, they said, even with vaccinations, we are hearing you still have to be masked up. There is still the risk factor that even if you're vaccinated, you still need to be incredibly careful. Like, I mean, there are going to be people that still continue to wear masks after the majority are vaccinated. I'm not sure if I will once I get fully vaccinated.
It's not even that bad wearing a mask to me. I don't really care about it.
Well, the thing is, at that point, with the exception of like the New Year's strains of COVID, which will likely, once the majority of people get vaccinated, will start dying down quickly. All the shit you would normally catch anyways, you've gone your entire life without a mask, likely catching that type of stuff, like a common cold, or when you go to Disneyland, you catch a cold or some shit like that. You've gone your whole life doing that anyways, so it doesn't, like, starting protecting against it now, you can, but you've been fine before for almost everyone. So it seems to me kind of pointless, or more like marketing.
Been doing it forever.
It seems like they've been working on this mask for a long time, and they're just now getting it around to releasing it after people have started getting vaccinated. So like, well, we still have, here's our excuse to still wear it, even though people are getting vaccinated, and it's not the most important thing in the world. But I don't know. I hope this succeeds, because I love the design language. I really enjoy it a lot more than the Razer mask. I hate the nose on the Razer mask so much, and this one like does it far superior.
They have the Voldemort nose. Jesus, I couldn't speak.
Morton nose. But yeah, this is really cool. Someone said hello 1950s. Innovative means plastic. It doesn't fucking matter if it's made of plastic, dude. The Razer mask is made of plastic. Whatever. But it's pretty cool, and I do hope it succeeds because I love the design language. We will move on to a story from notebookcheck.net, who I don't think I've heard of. Nvidia silently resurrects the GTX 1080 Ti. Now let me read a quote from here so there's some context to it. According to a post made on the Japanese forum Quasar Zone, someone has just received a brand new GTX 1080 Ti based graphics card, returning his old one via RMA. Twitter user Harukaze made some digging based on the serial number of the aforementioned card and discovered that we were talking about a GTX 1080 Ti EVGA SC manufactured in 2021. Meaning it was this person who got it exchanged for an RMA got it in around 2018. It's pretty interesting that if this is true, if this isn't, because serial number based looking stuff up like this for the age, most of the time in almost every major case it is accurate, but it can also be inaccurate. Things could have also literally have been rebranded just to make it look more recent. Like they could have just had new old stock specifically for RMA in their warehouse that they slapped something on, which is not likely, but it's possible. Or the serial numbers referring to dates in them could just be entirely wrong. It's happened, I think, once with Gamers Nexus, don't quote me, but it is known to not always be 100% guaranteed that the serial numbers that may contain date information are accurate and related to dates. But if this is true, this is now another case of Nvidia wasting more silicon on not a 3000 series card.
Shit we do not need.
Yeah, we don't need the 1080 Ti again. We don't need more of them. There's already, although they're overpriced and shit, I get my thinking, right? Realistically, I'm not sure if it takes more or less silicone per chip, but I'm assuming it's more efficient to produce an older, or potentially more efficient in terms of the amount of silicon used to produce an older chip than a newer one. Maybe that's what they're doing, considering there's a silicon shortage, and they're just trying to get something out the door to sell to eliminate the shortage on the consumer end.
But who's gonna buy a 1060 Ti?
A 1080 Ti.
Oh, you said 1060.
I didn't say 1060.
Oh, I could have sworn you said 1060. My fault.
Yeah, no, 1060 Ti is not a thing.
That's what I was wondering. I was like,
yeah,
I thought I was crazy. I swear I thought you had said 1060.
No, it's a 1080 Ti. But even so, it's I don't understand entirely the remanufacture. They are about $500 to $700 right now, which is MSRP when it launched, but now because of scalpers, they're around MSRP again. So I'm gonna be complete unless they're marked down. If perhaps they're doing this because of the 3-year RMA, which doesn't make any sense. I guess I don't know why they're doing this, other than maybe very soon they're gonna announce they're re-releasing it and reselling it. But at that point, I wonder if it MSRP'd at $700, they can't do that again, because like the RTX 3080 is also that MSRP, and it's amazingly superior, and you can't buy it, of course, but for a reasonable price. But you can't release like a 2017 flagship for its MSRP. But also, if they release it for less than it's worth, they're newly manufactured, so the scalping price is going to go up. This doesn't seem like the smartest move. I understood in a way why they'd start making 2060s again. I don't understand this necessarily,
I don't get the 2060 one.
The 2060 is just so people who need a lower end GPU, that isn't the 3060, they have a bit more of an ability to get one, I guess. I understand the 20. How do I word it? I don't understand it at all in general, but I understand the 2060 more than a 1080 Ti.
The 2060?
Yeah, I understand them. Yeah, I understand them releasing the 2060 like they've done more than the 1080 Ti.
Jesus, I heard you say 1060. Oh my God!
I hear you gotta fix your ears, bro. No, I understand them re-releasing the 2060 like they've done way more than 1080 Ti. I do not understand why they'd be re-releasing the 1080 Ti. It does not mention here that they're re-releasing it yet, but I don't know why they'd manufacture more if not to release them. So it should be fairly interesting to see if we get more 1080 Ti's coming into the market, brand new 1080 Ti's. I really don't know what benefit that would have.
If that happens, I'm just gonna buy one at this point.
My brain hurts kind of thinking about the logistics of how that would work, so I'm just kind of not really thinking too hard. I'd rather just kind of see what effect that has in the market and how that changes the price of the pre-existing 1080 Ti's. Logically speaking, since they're being scalped and everything, the price will go down, but I also think that means the price of these new ones will get scalped. Like, they'll get scalped and the price will go up. Because at this point, scalpers are scalping just to do it.
It doesn't make sense at this point.
It started originally from a few, honestly, to their credit, smart people buying a bunch of them right when it was known that COVID was going to cause a huge scalping issue, and then reselling them. And then now at this point, it's just, let's do it for everything ever in terms of GPUs. Let's just do it for everything. And they've spread to CPUs with the AMD Ryzen 5000 series. Luckily, they have not with the Intel chips because no one wants them because they're horrible price to performance. We didn't cover this, I don't think, but the 11900K is actually worse. Or sorry, I think it's the 11700K. It's one of the two. Is worse than the one before it. I think it's the 11900. It's actually just straight up worse. I believe it has less cores, and in almost all of Gamers Nexus testing is worse in performance. So no one's buying those. So luckily, if you need a newer Intel chip for some fucking reason, you can buy them. You can't buy like 5000 series AMD chips though without paying $200 premium over what they're worth, and you can't buy a GPU without paying anywhere between 300 to literally 1.5K over what they're worth, on average. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see if a new 1080 Ti is released. I don't know why they would. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And it is tagged here in this post as a rumor that they're, this article isn't a rumor, but I guess that they are re-releasing it is. And also that the serial number reading is correct. I don't know. What do you think, Epic? Because you've been very quiet.
1080, yeah.
That very great opinion. What? Yeah.
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay. Well, we'll move on here to another story from The Verge. Yahoo Answers was the most earnest place on the internet. I'm going to ignore the title because it has nothing to do with it. Essentially, Yahoo Answers is shutting down. Yahoo announced that they're shutting it down on May 4th. It'll enter a permanent read-only mode. And I thought I read correctly that they're just, at one point, they're going to straight up delete it. Like you won't be able to access it at all. Fucking what is it? Internet Archive said not to worry and that they've been backing up tons of it already, like in the past. So most of it, if not all of it, is preserved and on the Internet Archive and will be accessible. But it's kind of sad to see it go, because Yahoo Answers, sometimes you'd find something really cool, like someone saying, oh yeah, I had this problem and you need this specific driver, you can't get anywhere else, here's a link. And then other times you would get posts like fucking like how do I finger a girl, and it's some guy talk about how you shove your entire body up her ass.
I mean, that's interesting if you need to learn that. Well, I'm just saying.
The guy's like, oh, you start by using one finger, and then you put your whole hand, and then you put your entire arm in, then you climb inside, and then like use her as a puppet. That was one of the posts. It was funny as shit.
That's where that meme came from?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Funny as fuck. And it's like, that's why you go to Yahoo Answers most of the time. I've found some, I forget what at this point, but I have found like computer related stuff that's used to like a obscure driver or something on Yahoo Answers before. It can definitely be helpful. Most of the time though, it was just an alternative source of comedy. There's one famous one, I believe it's Yahoo Answers. Yeah, it is. Where someone's like, help, I was in the shower and I accidentally touched myself, but I felt good. Does this mean I'm a bad person? It's like, yeah, you're going to hell for eternity.
Oh my god.
And all the comments were just shit like that, and it's hilarious. So I'm definitely personally going to miss Yahoo Answers being around. There's also some links here in this Verge article to questions about, will my laptop get heavier if I put more files on it, or what is the right age to start teaching my dog about sex?
What?
This is like the idiot corner of the internet. This is like the Epic's brain corner of the internet. I feel like this
only on Wednesdays.
Only on Wednesdays. Well, luckily it is a Wednesday, so I don't know. I love this. I love this site. Sucks it's going down. And then the comments are just full of people debating shit for absolutely no reason, like the comments of this article. I have no idea why people are debating about shit related to it. It's Yahoo Answers, guys. Like, it's a meme. That's all it is, and it's sad it's going away. So yeah, Yahoo Answers, rest in peace. You will be missed. Tons of fucking dumb shit on there. I'll definitely, when I'm probably after the podcast, if I remember, I'm gonna go and find some of the funny threads.
You should put them on the screen.
Well, yeah, it's a ton of work. I'll do that too. I gotta go.
It's not. I think you could screenshot the clips, unless you
do a
different one. Yeah, just screenshot them. Yeah.
But I gotta go find some of the ones I found in the past I thought were hilarious, because there's a ton of stuff on Yahoo Answers that I have not backed up or don't have linked anywhere because it's just stuff I saw in passing. So I gotta find some of that, and if I remember to, I will definitely link it in the description. Then I'll show it on screen. But yeah, we'll move on to our final story. This is from Respawn Entertainment, the company. I mean, it's technically a tweet from them, but it's not from Twitter. The tweet's on Twitter, but Twitter's not reporting this. This is from
Twitter.
The amount you said Twitter and tweet was a lot.
Twitter is fixing Titanfall.
We covered a story. I believe it now. What is it? A week or 2 weeks ago? I'm horrible with time. Where we had Mom2236 come on and talk about the state of Titanfall 1, and how the game has been completely unplayable since for the past 3 years, and how it's horrible that EA decided to put it on Steam, and you can now buy it on Steam. You can buy a game that you cannot play. Well, there's 2 developments that have happened since then, and I dropped something on the board. I need to pick it up. There we go. The first development is that Titanfall 2 has actually started being to simplify it, DDoSed by the same group that are doing it to Titanfall 1. I've been in servers now 2 separate times where they've done it. They said they're targeting top players, and I've been in games where I'm the top player, so I've actually been targeted, and that's not me bragging. I believe they're calculating top player based on their G level, and I have been in games where almost everyone's like a level 50 or G1, sometimes G2, but I've been in a game where I was top of the leaderboard, and I'm a G3 point something, and I all of a sudden the entire game just completely froze with lag. 100% froze, just like it happens in Titanfall 1 when the person starts doing it while people are in game. That happened. That time it recovered. The game completely recovered after about 10 seconds of standing still. And then the other time I was with Charles, and the game did not recover, and it did go down, and we got booted back to the lobby. That time I was not top player, but I have been directly targeted by this guy, I believe. And there are other big Titanfall 2 players who have, I believe Pandasaur, who's a big Titanfall 2 streamer, has been directly targeted by this guy and his little team of people. It sucks to see that they're going after Titanfall 2 now, especially since they had no issue with it before. And it seems just kind of just to do it. But now that the big thing here is Respawn has said we're aware of the ongoing DDoS attacks affecting Titanfall or at Titanfall. To the Titanfall community, help is coming ASAP. This is great because this is the first time in 3 years, I believe, that Respawn have actually acknowledged the issue with their game.
That's just sad.
Yeah,
that's just sad at this point. They know because that's where they get their money from.
They've absolutely.
I don't even believe it.
Yeah, they don't get their money from Titanfall 1 or 2 anymore, so I had no reason to care about it at all. And it sucks that this is finally their response. That now, years later, they're like, oh yeah, we're aware, we're gonna do something. I would like to credit Mom2236 for kind of leading the charge and getting them aware of this, because they said that group of the Titanfall Remnant fleet that Mom leads said they're gonna go all out, and they made a huge mega thread detailing exactly what they're doing on EA's forums. Got a ton of likes, ton of upvotes. They've had tons of people contact EA in their live chat, by email, by a phone. They've been nonstop trying to get EA to fix this, and to let EA know that this is not a issue the end user can fix. It's related to Respawn EA servers that they rent out for Titanfall, and it looks like they're finally going to start doing shit about this. To recap, there's two big issues. The first one's with overloading the actual game servers itself, and that has to be fixed by allowing the certain exploit that the person uses to not be to make it so you can't use it anymore. That affects, I believe, Titanfall 1 and 2, and I'm not sure about Apex. And then there's the big one, which is the Origin username one, which will kick everyone out of the game. Or can kick everyone out of the game. It can also keep people directly in the lobbies, these bots directly in the lobbies, and not let people in. That is a problem with Origin, or rather, these games not verifying shit with Origin. And apparently, I believe that affects Apex, Titanfall 2, and Titanfall. So they have a lot of shit to do, and a lot of shit to fix. They have not said if they're gonna fix just Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2. They've just added the verified Titanfall Twitter that is advertising Titanfall 2 last in 2017. So it's unclear which game they're fixing, or if it's both, or if it's all. But it is good to finally see that they're recognizing that there's an issue with their game, and they're going to fix it. Or they're going to do something about it. I can't even say fix because they said help is coming, but we don't know what that is. It could either be they're fixing it. Although I wouldn't expect this, they may release the server binaries and make it so you can pull plutonium. I don't really know what they're going to do.
Speaking of plutonium, sorry to cut you off. The plutonium now has World at War.
Nice.
I was actually kind of happy about that, and I wanted to play zombies. But that's here nor there. But plutonium, I am surprised that they have not gotten shut down.
Plutonium is only debatably legal because it falls under a type of preservation where they're preserving the game by using stuff that the game has inside it, or that they legally obtained either by contacting Activision and asking for it, or it was in the game files. If they hacked Activision and got whatever they needed to host it themselves, they couldn't. But it's from a form of preservation where either the servers aren't up or the servers are unplayable. So if they're just running their own servers,
it's neither. But
well, they're not using Activision servers for like Black Ops 2 and Plutonium.
It's not unplayable. What do you mean by
if the hackers plague it and Activision does nothing, it can be seen as a form of preservation, even though they're publishing what is the full game. Is very
no, you have to buy. You have to already only have the files for the certain games for some of them. If you don't,
not for Black Ops 2 Plutonium, you download the full fat game from them.
True. Not anymore. You have to. Though.
Yeah, you have to.
But Modern Warfare 3 can download it straight from Steam servers for free.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, no. You can't download Modern Warfare 3. You have to download the dedicated server list.
Yeah,
that's not the same thing as the game.
When I got Plutonium,
that's completely different.
When I got Plutonium, it was Black Ops 2 full fat, like Plutonium.
Yeah, me too.
No, I play. I think I play Plutonium more than you two combined.
Well, but has it changed since then?
Yes.
Okay. Because at that point, that's more shaky of a level of preservation. But that said, it is still a form of it. If the servers were completely down for Black Ops 2,
no, they aren't. They really aren't.
Yeah, and the other thing about Titanfall 1 is it would make a lot more sense, and legally it could be seen more as preservation, because you can't play the game without an internet connection. You have to literally get into. First of all, it has no main campaign. Everything's online, but you cannot get into like the main lobby menu. Where you can choose your character class and everything. You can't click play game without being connected to their servers. So if the server binaries are ever made public, that is and people make a server with it, that's way better call for preservation legally, and that wouldn't be as easily taken down. But it's unclear what they're going to do. I personally hope they're fixing it for Titanfall 1 especially, because that game needs it desperately. It does have a community of like 500 people in that server who want to play the game that can't. Mom has since set up a bot, by the way, that 24/7 constantly tries to get into the lobby screen. And he has it in his Discord live streaming its screen, and just to ever see if you can get in. But that game needs it. Titanfall 2. Now that these attackers have started, combined with the fact that EA's now or Respawn's announced that they're going to fix it, I have a feeling these attacks are going to ramp up, and this guy's going to make like his last big stand, which is going to suck. But I hope they fix it for Titanfall 1 and 2 as well as Apex. And I don't
really give a shit about Apex anymore.
I want to point something out here, because this is kind of bullshit. A guy here named TSM Snipedown, who I'm assuming he's a TSM player, said
he's an Apex pro.
Yeah, he said addressing Titanfall, which is 1/1000th of the player base of Apex, while Apex cheater. Okay, sorry, let me reread that. Addressing Titanfall, which has 1/1000th the player base, while Apex cheaters and DDoS attacks get zero attention. Nice. That's not how that works. If someone is doing a small DDoS attack, first of all, I've not heard of a full fat DDoS attack on the entirety of Apex. I've actually seen one when I played it, like a year ago.
Oh, he's sorry. I'm on his Twitter right now, and he's like doubling down.
Yeah, it's not. It's just what he's saying. The game is playable, whether he wants to admit it or not. That game is playable. It does have issues with hackers. I do know that. It does have issue with people DDoSing other people with the servers. I know that. And I responded to this guy with a full response thing. I believe it's not showing up here, but I did do it because I've gotten many replies and likes to it. This isn't a comparable situation or comparable situation, excuse me. Whereas Apex is a playable game. Titanfall is a game that is currently completely unplayable, and the biggest issue arises from the fact that EA just got it, I believe within the last year, on Steam. They got it registered as a game you can now buy on Steam. They're now selling a game on Steam for $20 that you can't play. You're buying a loading screen, to quote Mom. Or excuse me, you're buying a screen, a loading screen.
You're not even buying a loading screen because you can't load the game.
Yeah, but you're infinitely loading and then erroring and loading it. You're buying a loading screen. And like a 1 minute 34-second intro animatic. That's what you're buying for your $20. You're not buying a game at this point. So it's not a comparable situation. And also, this guy I'm assuming doesn't realize these issues affect Titanfall 1, 2, and Apex. Except the guy's not targeting Apex yet, or at all, presumably, because it's EA's cash cow, and the second they notice it, he's going to get lawsuits all over him. If not already. I'm hoping EA is looking into that and trying to figure out who this guy is to slap him with some legal fines because he's keeping their game unplayable. What I wonder is people said they're going to start making complaints to Valve.
That's what Mom said.
Yeah, that the game, since it's a unplayable game on Steam, that it should be removed from Steam. And I'm wondering if Valve got enough complaints that they talked to EA and said, hey, you got to fix your game or we take it off Steam. And they're now saying, oh, okay, shit, we hear you. And they're going to do something just because of that.
Or they just put it back on Origin.
Okay, they're them saying help is on the way is not going to be them taking it off of Steam and then keeping it only on Origin. They're going to.
No. What I mean is, if they say Steam says we're taking it down, if you don't fix it, they can just say fuck you, put it back on Origin.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that because it's losing a way of money,
dumb.
And yeah, it's stupid at that point. It is good to see them responding though. I hope what they do comes very soon, and I hope their devs do look at Mom's thread that shows these problems affect all the like Titanfall 1, 2, and Apex, because they all run on Source and they all have this same issue that's never been fixed. That stems from Titanfall 1, that stems from Apex being built off of Titanfall 2, and stems from Titanfall 2 being built off Titanfall 1. They all have this very similar issues. There's some that are patched in Apex because they've just been patched, I believe. Like in general, I don't know why exactly or what led them to, but there's some that haven't, and they're big ones, and they need to be fixed. So I hope they do fix Titanfall 1 and 2. Since the guy is now targeting 2, if they fix 1, the guy's going to go for 2, and then we're going to have the whole issue again where we have to get the community to get them to respond. So I hope they fix everything, and they get this guy the fuck out, and they maybe even hit him with a lawsuit, because he does deserve it. What he's doing is illegal. Especially targeting other players, by the way, in Titanfall 2. That is just straight up DDoSing another player. That's an actual federal offense. So I do hope they get something done here. But I wanted to cover this just to show, apparently, finally, after years, Respawn are indeed doing something. And yeah, that is the last story we have for today.
Poggers.
I have a fucking headache for some reason. I don't know why.
Drink some water.
I only have this Diet Pepsi right in front of me.
That's good enough.
Where do your Ryneix Tech Tips water bottles?
LTTstore.com.
Oh yeah, it's right here. It's right here. It's just empty. I just say LTTstore.com. We're promoting Linus. I gotta refill it.
The tech one, not the other one.
Yeah, the tech one, not the other one. Exactly. Thank you guys so much for listening on YouTube or Spotify or any of the other services that I always forget. No, we're not on Apple Music.
We are now.
No, we're not. Yeah, I want to be though. I want to get on Apple Podcast, but I have to look into that more. We're also on Google Podcast. Thank you to those listening there.
Then now we shit on Apple, and we put be on here. You can shit on us on our own platform.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys so much.
Take some criticism, Apple.
Thank you guys so much for listening though, and I want to do a little update here to something I announced in a previous episode. I said I was going to be working on a video. I don't know if I detailed it was an iFixit expose. That's what it is though. That video is now delayed because there is another project, SATAMonkeys related, for a video that is already underway, like well underway. There's a lot of research being done. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be about VR. I don't want to leak a lot on it. I know Epic knows what I'm talking about, and Zara, if you don't know, fill you in after the podcast.
I think I wasn't here for this one.
But it should be pretty interesting. So those of you listening there you go. There's your little sneak peek. It's going to be VR related, and it is well underway. It should hopefully release by the end of June at the very latest, if not sometime mid-May.
Poggers VR.
It's going to be a very interesting video. I'm putting a lot of money and time into it, like a lot of money and time. And I really hope it's worth it. I hope it comes out well. And it's also going to hopefully confirm once and for all if a method of doing something in VR is or is not, okay, that's all I'll say, is or is not good or worth it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Definitely tune into that. More details about that will come out probably a week before it does hit. That video does come out. Thank you guys for supporting us, and I will see you next time. We will see you next time.
Bye.